So some of the important decisions I think I will just highlight, and then we can have free discussions on these issues and other issues also, which we'll try to answer, me and my colleagues. So first one is this on mutual funds. I mean, as you know, it's a very good story it has been till now, and with asset under management crossing 18 lakh crore, and last year net flows being more than around 3.4 lakh crore. So it's a good story, and we need to further actually improve, deepen, go beyond 15 cities, and make full use of the post-demonetization impact, the money which is there in the banks and with the people. So we are moving in that direction, and we will be taking many more decisions in coming future on mutual funds. This meeting, what we decided was that we allowed instant access facility to mutual funds, and with a ceiling of up to 50,000 per scheme per day, it will be allowed instant access facility to the investors in mutual fund. This will also be allowed through a tie-up with the payment banks, and also through e-wallets, of course, with certain restrictions, and those you can see in the press note. But broadly, the idea is that to further deepen the mutual funds and also encourage people to invest in mutual funds. So this is a step in that direction. The other one which had been pending for some time was, this was announced by Honorable Finance Minister last year in budget, that is 16-17, for allowing options in commodity derivatives market. So this has been approved today, which I think which is a very big step towards further deepening of commodity derivatives market, and details of which are available in the press brief. Next one is a budget announcement which was there in this year's only on 1st February 2017, which Finance Minister announced. That is allowing NBFCs as QIBs. So NBFCs which are systemically important, which net worth of more than 500 crore and regulated by RBI, since they are well-regulated entities, they have been allowed to be included in QIBs. So that will further increase the entities which can participate through QIBs and thereby benefiting in IPOs. The next one is preferential allotment to be extended to scheduled banks and public financial institutions. This is basically to help banks which are under various undergoing resolution process through CDR, SDR or various resolution mechanisms. So in case they have sold the shares, they can get preferential allotment within 6 months. So this is something which was allowed for mutual funds and insurance companies. Now it is being allowed for the banks also, and this will to some extent help them in addressing their NPAs issues and asset from restructuring. Next one is strengthening of monitoring of utilization of issue proceeds. So till now there was a concept of monitoring committee for issues which were 500 crore and above. So this is being lowered to rupees 100 crore because we, based on our experience in the last few years, we find that generally, I'm not saying always, but the issue sizes, it doesn't really matter, and maybe some smaller issue sizes are likely to be siphoned off or misused. So this was on the basis of detailed interaction and with the stakeholders and various committees suggesting. So again, the details of as to what will be the other conditions you can see in the press note. Other one which is very important is regarding consolidation and reissuance of debt securities. So this, as you are aware, for deepening of corporate bond market, both the government, Sebi, in fact even RBI, have been doing the last 2 years. They have taken a lot of steps, and I am happy to, in fact, since you are aware, I mean, it's nothing new to you, but last year through private placement, corporate debt has been raised to the extent of 6.4 lakh crore, which is one of the highest in recent years. And I think in 16-17, for the first time, maybe in many years, through capital markets, funds which have been raised are more than the credit growth in the bank. So which really is really substantial, and a great part of that comes from corporate bonds through private placement. So various steps which have been taken in the past are electronic platform for that, and the various measures which have been taken. So this one just adds to those measures by consolidation of issuance of debts and corporate bonds, and also in terms of reissuance. So the ISINs which have been there in private placement, which were a very large number, leading to bond market being fragmented and not at all liquid, will actually result in liquid market and for strengthening of corporate bond market. So I think it's a very good step, and this has been agreed today. Now there are few others. Foreign portfolio investor regulations, NRIs and Indians are prevented. That is well known, but that was only through FAQs. So now it has been clarified through amendment in the regulation that NRIs and Indians cannot participate in ODI, not FPI. Through ODI they cannot participate. Other one is Sebi debenture trustee regulations. They needed to be amended in view of the Companies Act provisions and takeover code provisions of Sebi. They have been made in line with those legislation and regulations. Other one is integration of broking activities in equity markets and commodity derivatives market under single entity. So this again is a budget announcement that we should look for integration at all levels. So we have begun with integration at the brokers level, and will slowly move for other entities also, including the exchanges, for this integration. And so these are some of the important ones which have been decided in today's meeting, and we have circulated the detailed press note. You can see the details there. So I think I'll end there, and you can ask questions and we'll try to answer.
Hello sir, this is Yash from CNBC TV 18. So obviously much awaited clarity on the introduction of options trading in the commodities market. So just wanted to know now the next thing which would be naming the two commodities, one agri and one non-agri commodity, and also the settlement process. How would that happen, and what is the timeline that you have in mind to give more clarity on those two aspects?
So I can only say that will be done quickly. In addition to amendment in the regulations, we also need some amendment in the rules. So we'll pose it to the government very quickly and request them to amend the rules. And I don't want to give a time frame, but this certainly is a priority, commodity derivatives market, and this is a very high priority for us. I can only say that we'll do it very quickly.
Sajid here from Bloomberg Point. Just to take from where can you give us an idea of the kind of options contract that would be in place, the developable models which were being presented with the Sebi? Can you give some breakup or some idea on that?
So broadly the details will be worked out, but options will result in derivatives. It's not a case where options result in cash market. So options will result in derivatives, because derivatives are the one which are actually regulated by Sebi, and spot market is not regulated by Sebi. So it will be a different type of option. It will result in a derivative, delivery of derivative. So further details as to how it will happen, those procedures are being worked out, and they will be actually brought in public domain very quickly.
On this P-note measure, is there a fear that there is NRI money currently coming into the Indian market through P-notes, and what portion, if any?
No, I don't think so. There is a fear of P-note money in Indians investing in P-note, but since the intention all along was not to allow them, and that was not properly reflected in the regulations, and though mentioned in FAQs, so it has been clarified through amendment in regulation. So I would only say that, not because of any other reason.
Mr. Sagi, sir, good evening. Vijay from ET now. Sir, firstly, thanks for doing this press conference. If I could ask you this was your first board meeting. You were on the other side in the finance ministry on formulating policy. Now it's more about implementing as a Sebi chairman. How do you see that? And sir, also as you're rightly saying, now with commonality of licenses going forward happening, how soon could we see the same applying for exchanges also who want to enter the other verticals? And also sir, was there any discussion in the board when it comes to certain legacy issues which have been there in which Sebi has been grappling with? Any time frame set or roadmap where you want to complete all the pending issues in a time frame? Thank you.
So the last one, by last one you mean which pending issues?
Say there have been issues like the NSE, algo controversy, or the NSCL scam which Sebi has been investigating the HFT regulations.
So on the first one, from government side, actually one deals on the policy issues which are on various other subjects. So as compared to that, it's more of a deep dive into capital markets and actually hands-on and trying to learn as to what are the issues. So a bit of policy and nuts and bolts both. So it's a different type of experience if you wanted to, listen to me on that. But on the pending issues and all, I have taken a stock, and I can only, so without going into as to what are the issues, we will expedite taking decisions on all of them in whichever issues which you just mentioned, and we will expedite decisions on them. You will see then, you can see the results soon. That's all I can say.
Can you give a timeline on the HFT regulations, because it's all, the discussion paper is already out and the comments are already come. So can we
see HFT thing? It's there is a discussion paper which was brought out in I think August 2016, and so it is something which we have as Sebi also has learned over the last almost a year or more than that. So it's a complicated issue. We have got some comments, so we are getting various simulation studies done as to if those various suggestions were to be opted, as to what will be the results. So we want to come out with a proper draft only after thorough examination. So that is engaging our attention. So let's see how we proceed, but we will proceed quite quickly, I can tell you that.
सर प्रदीप पांड्या CNBC आवाज से आपने जो ऑप्शंस की शुरुआत की है, इसके लिए ब्रोकर्स के लेवल पे किस तरह की तैयारी की जरूरत पड़ेगी? क्या आपने उसको असेस किया है और इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए क्या आप कोई टाइमलाइन देख रहे हैं?
नहीं, ब्रोकर्स को ध्यान में रखते हुए ब्रोकर्स से इसका एक ड्राफ्ट कंसल्टेशन पेपर जनवरी में वेबसाइट पे डाला गया था, तो ब्रोकर्स से कंसल्टेशन इस बारे में हो चुका है। लेकिन जैसे मैंने कहा कि डिटेल्स जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के होंगे वो जो है उनकी सहमति से ही, उनसे विचार विमर्श करने के बाद ही बनाए जाएंगे। इस बीच में जो रूल का अमेंडमेंट की आवश्यकता है भारत सरकार द्वारा वो भी हो जाएगी, तो इसको जल्दी, अगर मैं ये कहूँ 2 महीने 3 महीने वो उचित नहीं होगा, लेकिन इसको जल्दी ही करेंगे।
आपने जो कहा इंटीग्रेशन भी आप ब्रोकर के लेवल से अब एक्सचेंज के लेवल तक इवेंचुअली पहुंचेगा। कुछ एक्सचेंजेस जो भी स्टॉक मार्केट में है वो पहले भी इच्छा जता चुके हैं कि वो कमोडिटी कारोबार शुरू करना चाहते हैं, तो इसके लिए ये अभी आपको कितने दूर दिखता है? क्या साल भर के अंदर मुमकिन है और लंबी बात?
नो, दैट इज फॉर श्योर। इट विल बी डन इन दिस फाइनेंशियल ईयर। इट विल डन मच अर्लियर देन दैट। 1 year is too long. It will be done much earlier than that. I can tell you that.
राजेश फ्रॉम जी बिजनेस। सर हिंदी में जवाब चाहिए होगा। आपने आईपीओ के लिए 500 की कंडीशन घटा के 100 करोड़ पे लाई है, तो ये कैसे इंश्योर करेंगे कि वाकई में मॉनिटरिंग होती है इसकी? क्योंकि इसके बाद भी गड़बड़ियां तो सामने आई हैं। ये सिर्फ लिमिट कम करने से कैसे आप ये तय करेंगे कि ये चीज होगी?
देखिए, इसमें 2-3 चीजें हैं। एक तो ये कि जब इसमें प्रावधान होगा कि मॉनिटरिंग कमेटी होगी और मॉनिटरिंग कमेटी जो है अपनी रिपोर्ट देगी, वो रिपोर्ट वेबसाइट पे एक्सचेंज के रखी जाएगी, और इसके अलावा ऑडिट कमेटी जो है उनको भी इसके बारे में उनको भी निर्देश दिए गए हैं कि वो भी इसको मॉनिटर करेंगे। फिर कंपनीज एक्ट जो है 2013 का, उसमें प्रावधान किया गया है कि अगर जिस ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए पैसा रेज किया गया है उसके किसी और काम के लिए इस्तेमाल किया जाए तो उसके लिए आपको शेयर होल्डर्स का अप्रूवल चाहिए, और अगर किसी ने उसमें पैसा डाला है और ऑब्जेक्ट चेंज हो गया है तो वो स्टेक होल्डर उससे पैसा विड्रॉ कर सकता है। तो सब चीज़ें जो हैं ये इंश्योर करने के लिए, मतलब दिस इज़ ऑल मूवमेंट इन द डायरेक्शन टू फर्दर मॉनिटर, और ऐसा मॉनिटर ताकि इसमें लोग जो हैं वो इसमें डिटरेंट रहे और वो इसको फॉलो करें। उसके बावजूद फॉलो नहीं कुछ लोग करेंगे तो वो केसेस आएंगे, फिर यहाँ पे केसेस आएंगे एडजुडिकेशन में, उनके खिलाफ जल्दी कार्रवाई की जाएगी, वो डिस्गॉज किया जाएगा पैसा अगर गलती कर रहे हैं तो वो। आई कैन ओनली अश्योर यू दैट।
What's the rationale for this new threshold of 100 crores? You have just kept it probably no threshold because you already had earlier a 500 crore threshold. So if you're saying that you don't want misuse of funds, then why a new threshold?
So I think that's a good question, that why have at all. Only thing is that when you set up monitoring committees and all, there are some costs involved of compliance. So if you don't keep a threshold above 1, it could be for a large number of issuers. And perhaps it's more in terms of, so it has been reduced basically because of an experience that smaller issues which are being raised are misused. but some threshold has been kept to see that the compliance costs are okay. It should not be that anyone raising any amount should be forced to do it. And as I said, that in addition to monitoring committee, there are other mechanisms which are also in place, and some improvements have taken place through the Companies Act. So all combined things may really, I think, will be effective enough with this threshold.
So the entire ethical corporate governance issue, how we plan to address that, considering there was a share buyback and after that the company announced its corporate restructuring. So have any of the minority shareholders reached out to you to give us an idea on that?
So I would request that I think individual cases should not be asked here because they have cautious judicial implications. So I think let's not ask individual questions.
Sir, this is Shrimmy Chaudhary from Business Standard. One question on, of course, National Stock Exchange yet to get the new CEO and MD awaiting Sebi approval. So when we can get update on that?
So we sought some additional information which has come to us 3-4 days back, and so we'll decide very quickly.
So also with respect to the same question from there, also the DRHP has been filed with Sebi for NSE IPO and approval is awaited on the same. By when can we expect that to happen?
So that will take time for the simple reason that NSE itself also wants that the other issue of co-location getting sorted out before they go for IPO. So that is not going to happen that will take some time to sort out. Let me put it this way.
Unified license, there is a difference between the net worth of equity brokers and commodity brokers. So how do you manage that? Because some brokers are trade only on commodities. So the threshold will be increased or equity net worth requirement will be come down.
No, as I understand, threshold and requirements will remain the same. Threshold and requirements for both brokers in equity and commodity derivatives will remain the same. One difference would be that right now they are supposed to have 2 different subsidiaries if they want to deal. So it will be with the same subsidiary, the same entity can deal with any security, since commodity derivatives also have been defined as a security in SCRA. So the same entity could deal with commodity derivatives also as compared to equity.
There is some difference between the net worth of equity. If somebody wants to start the equity broking side, so there is some different net worth, and the commodity broker there is a different net worth.
No, net worth and all requirements will be same. There will be no dispensation or special dispensation or concession to the ones which are dealing with commodity derivatives. The same net worth and requirements will apply.
Sir, you started instant access for mutual funds. Can you give us some more idea? You said 50,000 per scheme per day. This is for all unit holders, or per unit holder 50,000?
Sorry, come again?
Instant access, how will it work actually?
So it will work per day per scheme. I am saying that 50,000 or 90% of your folio amount, whichever is less, you can withdraw. So what do you want to know on that?
So there was the entire mutual industry was divided on that because of what kind of risk it brings down on the industry.
So risk is that they will have to keep aside some amount from which this liquidity will be provided. So that will affect their overall return. So that is what they will not allow borrowing to meet these requirements. So if they want to use this scheme, then they'll have to keep some money aside for meeting these requirements. So that's the downside of this. But there will be many more perhaps investors, given this facility, who will want to invest in mutual fund. So that's how we have kept it.
Is there any prescription from your side कि कितना आपके पूरे एसेट अंडर मैनेजमेंट का हिस्सा होना चाहिए लिक्विड में ऐसी स्थिति में?
हाँ, इसमें है, वो आप डिटेल देख सकते हैं. वो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ उनके लास्ट 3 months एवरेज एंड देयर इज सम रिक्वायरमेंट व्हिच हैज बीन वर्कड आउट इन द स्कीम. यू कैन सी द पेपर वंस यू सी इट. Yeah. So we are stipulating something. It is not left to them.
Sir, on the NSE again designated CEO appointment, is the issue with his dual role on BCCI and NSE as well?
So there were 2-3 queries which we were not clear, and since it is between us and NSE, I don't want to really say on what issues. So there are 3-4 issues on which they have replied, and we'll soon take a view.
Sir, one question to Raman sir. Last year you came out with one paper about the private treaties between the management and the companies. The PVR was the one company. So you have given the time to other companies also to come out and declare their treaties. So how many companies have come out and declared?
I understand there are not any case has come to light thus far. So it is a bit of a surprise, but that's the fact. So anyway, we are still in the process of collation, reconfirming the details. But as of now, the feedback which I have is we have not come across any other case of that type. But that's not the final case.
In terms of coming back to commodities markets, the exchanges also have been in discussion when it comes to allowing DIIs into the commodity markets. Now with options getting launched, do we see, at least to begin with, one set of domestic institutional investors being allowed? Because at the end of the day, they are saying they would determine or really give a push when it comes to volumes or also getting the required credibility.
Especially mutual funds.
So you see, one thing which is very important for commodity derivatives market, and which Honorable Finance Minister announced in the budget, is to set up an expert committee to look for synergy between spot market and commodity derivatives market. I think that is the most important issue for the development and deepening of corporate derivatives market. Now Sebi of course has given its comments on the TOR and also suggested as to what should be the committee and what should it do. So once that committee comes out with recommendations and government takes some view, that will be really very important and decisive in terms of market participants and including the institutional investors. So right now what is happening is that this issue has been discussed at length for the past almost 2 years plus in FSDC subcommittee meetings, and there the hesitation is that since the underlying asset actually is not regulated by any of the financial sector regulators, so everyone has been cautious in actually investing in this. So I think that will be an important step in that direction. Having said that, we are in dialogue with RBI for banks and insurance companies and pension funds, and also examining mutual funds and AIFs in Sebi if they can participate to begin with. So, but as I said, that in the overall perspective, that synergy part, have a clarity on that is very important.
One second. Somebody else will not answer.
Sir, this is Shastru from Bloomberg News. I have a question regarding AIFs. Do you have a plan to allow the AIF category to invest in equities and derivatives of commodities?
So I believe that's what was discussed, and so final decision is yet to be taken. But amongst AIF 3 was the preferred one, which there was some movement and discussion that they could participate in commodity derivatives market.
सर, एक कमोडिटी एक्सचेंज ने टाइम में बदलाव किया है और वो जल्दी बंद करने की बात कर रहे हैं.
कौन? सॉरी,
NCDX ने ये घोषणा की है कि NCDX ने
क्या घोषणा की?
जल्दी बंद करेंगे अपनी ट्रेडिंग. उस समय को उन्होंने प्रीपोन किया है.
ट्रेडिंग बंद करेंगे.
ट्रेडिंग का समय सर 11 से 9. क्या इस बारे में आपसे चर्चा हुई है, और क्या फिर अलग अलग एक्सचेंज पे अलग अलग टाइम होगा, या आप कोई प्रिस्क्रिप्शन देंगे?
नहीं, कमोडिटी डेरिवेटिव्स एक्सचेंजेस जो हैं वो नॉर्मल एक्सचेंज के बियॉन्ड भी खुले रहते हैं, क्योंकि कई कमोडिटीज़ की प्राइस डिस्कवरी जो है विदेशों में होती है, इसलिए वो मूलतः खुले रहते हैं. तो उनको वो पाबंदी नहीं है कि वो 3:30 बजे बंद कर दें. तो लेकिन जो आप कह रहे हैं कि आप क्या कह रहे हैं कि उन्होंने
अब MCX और NCDX के लिए भी अलग अलग टाइमिंग होंगी सर. 2 कमोडिटी एक्सचेंजेस के बीच भी अलग अलग टाइमिंग हो जाएगी.
I have no idea. You have any idea?
No sir, I don't have NCDX में 11 बजे तक जो ट्रेडिंग होती थी उसको 9 o'clock तक कर दिया शाम को. तो वो ये पूछना चाह रहे हैं कि जो MCX में जो 11:50 तक गोल्ड, सिल्वर और बेस मेटल ट्रेड होते हैं, क्या उनकी भी प्राइस कट डाउन होगा?
मैं समझता हूँ कि वो, जैसे मैंने कहा कि कमोडिटी डेरिवेटिव्स मार्केट में प्राइस डिस्कवरी के लिए इंटरनेशनल मार्केट्स जब खुली रहती हैं उस समय तक होना ज़रूरी है, इसलिए उनको अलाउड है. और वो क्यों कर रहे हैं चेंज, हमें इसके बारे में मेरे को जानकारी नहीं है. हम बताएंगे आपको पूछ के उनसे.
Can we
So,
have
just to take the point on
Yes,
alternative
somebody else to ask the question.
Yes.
So sir, not ask please.
So Shashank from Commodities. Sir, recently RBI has allowed banks to invest in REITs and InvITs. So do you think it will jumpstart the interest in those trusts? And secondly, are you trying to are you looking to incorporate those changes in the rules?
No. What you see, REITs and InvITs, we have been discussing both at government level and at regulatory level for the past 2 years plus. So it's a very good move that now banks, insurance companies, mutual funds, all are actually